So, hello everybody, welcome to a new video. It will be really quick. I show you an easy trick to create super lush reverbs without that you have to have a lot of knowledge about how to program a reverb plugin. So let's go. In this song I show you here, actually the goal of the composer was a lush, large reverb, and moreover he wanted the voice to be really far at the back. Let's quickly listen to this. So now if we listen to dry voice, it sounds like this. And with the reverb design that we did in the mix, it sounds like this. So you're also hearing the piano reverb because we are here in the final stem sessions with the stems that I printed out of the mix. But you can hear the vocal reverb, and to do such a reverb you need quite some skills in reverb design. However, you also can do it really easy. So let's mute the reverb for now. Let's just work with the dry vocal. Now let's say you don't have a high-end reverb plugin and you don't have so much reverb skills. We go with the Relap Essential plugin, very easy but good sounding reverb. You could also take Valhalla or whatever reverb you have. And now you could just make the reverb time long, because that's what you would do, right? If the producer wants a lush reverb, you make the reverb time long. So let's set it to 5 seconds. While that might kind of work, usually if you set very low reverb settings, you also should adjust other reverb parameters. I said it before, like shape and spread, contour, whatever, all parameters that you don't have. And so with such a reverb, it might sound too cheesy. So actually, let's go back to 2 seconds. Which I think it sounds more natural, but not lush enough. And now the trick is just add a delay before and after the reverb. I usually go with this Echo Boy, and if you have this plugin, you could just use here on the reverb and spaces, ambient echoes. With the dry to wet, you actually tell what you want to have. Like with the dry signal, you have just only the reverb, because only the dry signal is going in. The dry signal is being sent to the reverb. If it's only wet, you have just nothing of the dry signal anymore going into the reverb, but only the delays. What works best depends on what you need. Actually, to have a lot of delay, we probably are not 100% wet, but if you have a lot of delay, actually what it does, it takes your input signal, then it creates some delays. And the beauty of it is that the reverb then also is kind of fading in. Let's hear that again with the maximum setting. Let's hear it again without the delay. Again with the delay. Yeah, so not only is it now longer, probably even longer than 5 seconds, but it's also coming in slowly. And that means that actually your vocal is still clear, because when she starts to sing, the reverb is not going into a competition with the vocal immediately, but the reverb is starting soft. And it's also more dense, because if you add delay to the input signal, basically you add more density. It's like if the singer would be singing on a beautiful wooden stage with a lot of ceiling and wall reflections, well, then the signal is also more dense. And that's a very cool way. So let's find a good balance of dry white. If it's too long for you, just reduce the feedback, and then it'll be shorter because you send in less delays in the reverb. So at the end, it will be shorter. It's very easy. But for that song, the producer wants a long Lush reverb, so we'll have the feedback rather long. Let's hear it again. Now another trick is just add another delay after the reverb, because finally, if you have your reverb with the input delay, you could just delay that again. So now with that second delay after the reverb, you usually would want less feedback, and maybe you would want to go back so that you have a little bit more dry signal. Obviously here in the delay after the reverb, dry means, so if it's totally dry, you would just hear the output of the reverb with the input echoes. If it's completely wet, you would hear the reverb going through the delay. And if you make a mixed level, you hear reverb and additional the delay. Let's show it in an exaggerated way first, so that you can hear what it's doing. And as you can hear, this just makes it longer and lusher again. And let's go a little bit back so that it's more realistic. Sounds great. And you could always play with that nice saturation, because if you saturate delays, it usually sounds very nice and more rich. Cool. Let's mute our reverb and let's look what we did in the mix. And yeah, I hope you're not disturbed by the piano, but just because it's in the reverb stem. So there is more reverb. So let's make a little bit a long delay time. Here we go. Let's make it a little bit louder, or let's also saturate the input delays. And you could also set a low cut and a high cut on the way in. Setting low and high cut helps you so that the reverb with the delays is a little bit more in the mid frequencies, and then it doesn't fight so much with other instruments. So let's hear it again without our new reverb and with the old reverb. And with our new reverb. Well, actually, you could just put in the piano as well and send the piano also a little bit in that reverb. Then it might be more easy to compare. And let's hear the original. Let's hear it again with our reverb. So let's quickly summarize. So what we did, we made a very easy reverb design that sounded lush and almost as good as the exclusive reverb design where I combined some high-end reverb effects, some outboard gear. So if you don't have all that gear, or if you don't have high-end plugins, take just a normal reverb like Relab Essentials. That one is very good. Or was it the Valhalla? Take a normal reverb up to 2 seconds, but then add an input delay. Again, Soundtoys Echo Boy is very good. I use the preset ambient echoes. And then have your reverb, and then have a second delay after the reverb, and that will give you really lush, beautiful sounding reverbs that nicely and slowly are fading in. So your reverb is not sounding cheesy, and it's not a competition to your dry signal. Hope this helps. And if you want more information, I have a online free masterclass in YouTube. I'll have the link in the descriptions of the video. And I have a paid masterclass where you really can get expert of reverb design. It's a 10-hour-long class. It's not expensive for what it is. Check it out on my homepage, Dettwiler.com. And see you soon. Ring the bell and subscribe to the channel if you liked it. Thank you. Bye.